So now we got more. There's more blood. There's more blood in the water because Jonathan Allen, who's a member of the Washington Commanders, I don't like that name. Okay, I'm saying, look, your name should be named after something that your city's about. It should have been named the Washington Corrupt Lobby Group. Mm-hmm. It should have been called the Washington Caught with a Boy in a Hotel Room Senators. It should have been called Washington K Streets. It should have been called the Washington $1 Trillion Debts Football Team. But it's called the Washington Commanders. He's a football player in the Washington Commanders. And Jonathan Allen, I love when people forget that Twitter is public. And that just shows, why are we not just making fun of it, dude? If Jonathan Allen would have said this in private, we would have all made fun of him. We would have had fun with it. It's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? But when you tweet this stuff, you forget like you're releasing a public statement. That's how my buddy Nir Rosen got in trouble. My old roommate from college, who's a journalist, like was a respected war journalist. And then he started arguing with people on Twitter about when Lara Logan got sexually assaulted by a mob in Iraq. And he said something stupid. And he was like, and then he was, next thing you know, you're on CNN, you're on Anderson Cooper looking all sad going, I'm sorry. You know? Kevin Harlan has the right idea. My co-host, Olivia from Unleashed, her father, Kevin Harlan, the sports announcer, he doesn't have Twitter. Pete Davidson has no Twitter. But hey, look, the rest of us are trying to build a fan base. There's a thin line between winning over a bunch of people and alienating a bunch of people. And you can't win everybody over nowadays. So you got to take the risk sometimes. And boy, did Jonathan Allen take the risk. And hey, look, a lot of people didn't know who Jonathan Allen was before this, okay? All right, he's not Jonathan Taylor. Mm-hmm. When I hear Jonathan, first thing I was like, who was it again? Was it Jonathan Taylor? And you're like, no, it's Jonathan Allen. I was like, who the fuck is Jonathan Allen?
Exactly.
Jonathan Allen plays on the Washington Commanders, and he tweeted, someone asked him, who would he like to speak to from history?
Yeah, who would you have, 3 people that you would have dinner with?
Yeah, you know, that's an old, well-known question. If you could talk to anyone in history, who would you talk to? They asked me that actually on the Babylon Bee podcast. I said Queen Elizabeth, because of the success of her reign and doing that as a woman and like the marketing of that and making herself the virgin queen and playing off the psychology of Catholics and giving her that purity. She was brilliant. That era flourished. You know, that's when England dominated. I'd love to sit down with her. A dictator, a benign dictator who ruled for 7. Benign's subjective. She did cut the head off of her cousin, but you know, you got to do what you got to do to stay in power sometimes. Mm-hmm. I'd like to. They asked me that same question. I said Queen Elizabeth, Jack Johnson, which you're going to watch a documentary, Unforgivable Blackness. That dude was like he came. It almost feels like he came from 1997 and like time traveled to 1900 when he was boxing. Incredible. Unforgivable Blackness is a documentary you all got to see about the boxer Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson, Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth, and my third one was Julius Caesar. I'd love to know, you know, because another guy, it's just fascinating me, like, how did you do it, you know? As the first dictator of Rome, the first Caesar, everyone's been trying to emulate him. You know, Kaiser is a German word for Caesar. And then the Nazis even they wanted to emulate Rome. Everyone wants to emulate Rome because it had a 1,000-year run. That's a good run, dude. So I'd love to meet those dudes. Jonathan Allen had a different choice.
Yes, he did.
Jonathan Allen went with his grandfather. Mm-hmm. That's a real, you know, when he said him, he started with his grandfather. People were like, you know, Jonathan Allen's a great dude, man. His grandfather's his idol. I guess who's coming next? Probably, you know, Jackie Robinson, or, you know, he wants to talk to Jackie Robinson, or, you know, maybe he wants to talk to, you know, Thurgood Marshall, or, you know, he wants to maybe talk to Frederick Douglass. That's the direction you thought he was going in when he said grandfather.
Yeah.
But he made what you call a hard right. Yeah. He made a hard turn. He was going one way, and he went, you know.
Much like the Washington Commanders records, his choices got progressively bad.
He did. And he went from there to what?
He went to Michael Jackson, which is okay. King of Pop.
Kind of.
King of Pop.
King of Pop /
if you're a little
King of Pedophilia.
If you're King of the Peace. If you're a little younger, you go, all right. But if you're older, okay, we understand that. We get that. And then he just really stuck the landing, and he said, good old Hitler. Good old Adolf. He wants to sit down and have a couple of streusels with him.
He just got off the phone with Whoopi Goldberg, and he was curious.
He made an executive decision.
He went with Hitler. And then a bunch of people asked, why would you choose that? And he said what?
And he said, one, I am a military guy. I'm fascinated with military minds, and he was the greatest one. So I'd like to pick his brains about that. But also, I would like to figure out what was going on through his brain when he did what he did.
Okay, now
he prefaced this with, this dinner is going to be with honesty. So every time I ask a question, the person that I'm asking has to return with honest answers.
Right. Look, again, if he was saying this a bunch of his boys, everyone would have fun with it.
It's fine. Yeah, most of them have CTE, so they're not going to remember the conversation anyway. Yeah.
Right. But, saying it on Twitter, it's going to raise a few eyebrows. First of all, yeah, when you say he's a great military mind, great is subjective.
Yeah.
It's a little controversial. You don't want to put the word great with Hitler.
You can't really
that's
do that.
one word you just don't want in the sentence near Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
You want the word Hitler and the word great to be like 4 to 8 days apart.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want them to be said in the same day.
Yeah, you need some business day shipping in between that. When you say
Some business day shipping. Yeah. 5 to 7 working days.
Yep.
So you have that right there. And
because he wasn't great, he was backed by money. Really, companies helped him build the German army up. Really,
exactly,
like you told me. Yeah,
it was like the technology of the German war machine.
Yeah, so
a lot of companies.
So to say he's a great military mind, it's like to say the Kardashians are great looking. Like, no, that's built by money.
Built by money
it's all
and
fake.
technology.
Yep,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, because when you see them without makeup and all the work they've done, they're not that great.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of squats. They did a lot of squats to get those asses big. A lot of hard work. Hitler was, I would say he's more, I wouldn't say great or famous, he's more infamous. That's the word. He did, part of his military plan was to put people in camps. So that's no bueno. Also, Jonathan, see, there I go again. Jonathan Allen, do you really want to talk to Michael Jackson? Like, is that really going to be a fun conversation?
Yeah, first of all, you're not
going to
be able to hear
you
him.
want to climb trees?
Yeah.
He's going to be like, no, man, I got to go to football practice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on, man. You want to make some time to climb some trees and hang out with some 7-year-olds and come pet my monkey and go on my roller coaster? And Jonathan Allen's going to be like, no, dog, I'm going to the Cheesecake Factory with my girl. Like, I'm an adult. I got a day off. And then I got to go back to training camp.
Yep.
Do you really want to talk to Michael Jackson?
No. But when Hitler hears the word camp, he's going to get excited.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he just wants to talk about training. He wants to talk about their different experiences with camps. Mm-hmm. He goes, I go to camp and it's on HBO and it's preseason. You go to a camp, you have a different idea what happens there. Mm. Why did you call it camp? First of all, why did they call it camp? Why would you call something so not fun camp?
Yeah.
Imagine you were in there and they're like, welcome to the camp. And you're like, yo, dog, I've been to camp, okay? We sat around, we cooked some s'mores, and we went horseback riding.
Yeah.
This is not camp. Can we stop calling them camps? Mm-hmm. Can we just call them what they are? Prisons or... why is the word camp used for those? Why was Auschwitz called a camp?
It's genocide spots.
Yeah, genocide spots. Let's think of a better word right now, what they would be. It's not a camp.
Yeah,
you can't call Auschwitz a camp. All right? I went to camp. First girl I finger popped was camp. I don't remember any humans going into furnaces. Mm-hmm. Yeah, camp's just not a good word for that.
Not a good word.
All right, so Jonathan Allen, what's going to happen to Jonathan Allen now? Is he going to have to do this ceremonial walk of shame from Game of Thrones? Like, what do you do now? Like, what does he do? Is he going to have to? A Patton Oswalt's coming soon. I'm sorry. Him and his lawyer's going to sit down. I'm so sorry. What I meant was I'm a history lover, and I wanted to explore the evil mind of Hitler and what went so wrong. And
yeah, here it is.
Here we go. He's already released one. Here we go. Jonathan Allen. He later apologized. The apologies always come. I was just answering a question. If not the most evil persons to have ever lived, but this was a hypothetical question. It's like, yeah, John, I think we get all that now. We already know that. What's your explanation? Early, I tweeted something that probably hurt people. I love the probably hurt people. And I apologize about what I said. I didn't express properly what I was trying to say, and I realized it was dumb. When pressed on his dinner, are people not allowed to say stupid shit anymore? Big deal. He said something stupid. Following the initial tweet, Allen said he was merely saying why it would be interesting to speak with Hitler, not giving him props. Look, I'm not bigging him up. You know what I mean? I'm not giving him props. He also said Hitler, the German dictator who initiated World War II and the Holocaust, is easily, if not the most evil person to have ever lived. But this was a hypothetical question. And he's right. It's a fantasy. If I could talk to someone from history. So what? Guy wants to talk to Hitler.
Yeah.
So fucking what?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, women have rape fantasies, so he can have a Nazi fantasy.
Yeah, why can't he, you know? And who says he wants to talk to Hitler about anything having to do that? Maybe he wants to just have a nice talk about, you know, what his favorite German dessert is. Hitler was a big dog lover. Maybe he wants to talk about dogs.
Yeah.
Mustache grooming.
Mustache grooming. He wants to know what's up with that. By
Well,
the way,
he did say that he wanted to know why he did what he did.
He wanted to know why he did what he did. But maybe he was talking about what he did with his dog training.
That's true. That's true.
That's funny. He should show up with Hitler. He's like, hey, man, why did you do what you do? And he would be like, I wrote a whole book about it. Everyone knows why I did what I did, Jonathan Allen. It's because they don't like Jews. I think I made that clear. How more clear could Hitler have been about why he did what he did? Why are all these people, why are him and Whoopi going like, what was going on with that? They're like re-examining, going, I don't think we know everything we need to know about what was going on with the Nazis. I think we can pretty much wrap a bow on that one. I think Hitler made it pretty clear through his own mouth why he was doing what he was doing and why. But I love how Jonathan Allen's like, no, man, it's got to be about childhood. Let's get deeper. Like, yo, Hitler, tell me about what it was like to be a kid. Was there a girl that rejected you? And, he's probably right. It's always like some stupid childhood thing that makes you like this. I don't mean Jonathan Allen was right. I don't mean Hitler was right. Don't edit this into something after I get huge. And
Jonathan Allen
they could just edit and go like, Hitler, right. And then me doing the voice. Hitler was bad, 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 bad. It's a conclusion. He was bad, bad, bad. Bad.
It's bad for him, man. He's got to apologize. Jonathan Allen now, much like the Redskins, is going to have to change his name.
Yeah, he's going to have to change his name
the
now.
Washington Commanders is going to have 3 sacks from a Noah Goldblum.
Just like Enos Cantor changed it to Enos Freedom.
Yeah,
you go with the opposite of what your reputation is. Like Ron Artest became Meta World Peace.
Yep.
There's one thing that Ron Artest is not, and that is world peace. No, he represents elbows to the face that put you on the IR for 3 months. So Jonathan Allen, he was an all-pro. He's a good player. Not a great tweeter. No. You can't expect the guy's going to be a great tweeter. What can you do? What can you do?
Yannis Pappas. Yeah. We